on a lot in that time. So these older medicines have often not been through that view that actually we can now do this, we can now improve it in this way. So that is a great example where we can hopefully improve outcomes for children in conditions that are pretty serious.
Now, you're in four main therapy areas at the moment: cardiovascular, neurology, oncology and endocrine. Do you see that widening over time?
No, to be honest, I think four is definitely enough. But there are four particular areas of medicine that I really care about, and you can see opportunities to improve health outcomes. If I take cardiovascular, so that's heart disease, quite often people are prescribed medicines, and very soon after being prescribed them, they stop taking them. So I've actually seen statistics that, anything up to 50-60% of patients stop taking those medicines consistently. So one of the things I want to do with Pharmanovia is have a look at how we can improve that. So it can be education, it can be what we call wraparound care. So I think pharmaceutical companies shouldn't just be concerned about the pills. We should be looking holistically at how we can improve outcomes. So I think with cardiovascular as that example, we can improve the medicines to make it more consistent, maybe longer acting or combination medicines, or we can also have a look at how we can work with digital companies to encourage patients to take their medicines. And I think it's the same with the other three areas you mentioned. There's some specific gaps that I think we can come together and help improve outcomes for patients suffering with those conditions.
And what's the ultimate aim for the business? You're currently private equity owned. Would you see yourself as listing on the stock market at some point in the future?
Who knows, to be honest. I think for now, my main aim is to really drive the strategy of improving medicines. I think there's a real opportunity. And I think actually post-Brexit, it's something that the UK government, the MHRA should be looking to encourage. I'm certainly seeing signs in the EU that they're encouraging regulatory agencies to develop approval pathways for these incrementally improved products, and the US already has a way to do it already. So I think, for me, the main focus right now is to try and stimulate these innovations and get them to market.
All right, Dr. Burt, got to leave it there. Good to talk to you this morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're still to come here on Ian King Live. We'll have a look at how global markets are doing this Monday morning. Don't go away. The world seems to be becoming more and more divided. Issues around politics, culture, the pandemic are resulting in vastly opposing viewpoints, causing real rifts between us. I want to get in the middle of those debates. I want to better understand where each stance comes from and whether there's room for compromise. Join me, Trevor Phillips, as we look to find common ground on Sky News.
1 in 78 people in the world is now displaced by conflict, either as a refugee who's crossed a border or as someone who's still within their own country. Now, the Ukraine crisis does do two things. First of all, it massively increases the number of people who are displaced, but it also, secondly, sets a new standard for how people who are displaced by conflict should be supported. Just let me give you two examples of that. First of all, the welcome that's been offered by European countries, 3 years residence, 3 years work permits, 3 years access to social services, 3 years welfare benefits actually in European Union countries for Ukrainians, is very much to be welcomed. Secondly, those who are still inside Ukraine, and I know this from the work that my own organization is doing inside the country, we've got well-funded programs, partly because of the response of the public, partly because of the response of government, that's able to help people keep body and soul together. So the Ukraine crisis has set a new standard for the kind of help that needs to be given to people who are the innocent victims of war. And what we need to see in Afghanistan and elsewhere, some of the countries that you mentioned, is people protected from the consequences of the Ukraine crisis in terms of rising food prices, rising energy bills, rising interest rates. Those are all a direct threat to life and livelihood of people around the world. They're in Jordan, they're in Lebanon, they're in Uganda, they're in Ethiopia, they're in Bangladesh. So these are places where the cost of living is lower. And frankly, that moves the excuse that's sometimes used that we haven't got the money to pay for this. At the moment, if you're a refugee in one of the countries that I've mentioned or someone caught up in conflict, at the moment, you're getting maybe £150, £200 a year to support you. That's less than £1 a day. So the scale of support is really very, very important to keep body and soul together. Remember, the UN is warning that people who are already at a level of food insecurity are going to be pushed into famine. And so we're talking about, for a matter of pounds and pence, staving off famine in East Africa, in the Sahel, in Yemen.
Well, stocks in the Asia-Pacific region saw mixed trading overnight, with declines in Sydney and Tokyo and a modest gain in Hong Kong, with both Shanghai and Mumbai more or less unchanged. Well, in Europe, stocks have been trading largely to the upside so far this morning, although, as you can see, the CAC 40 in Paris is lagging its peers after the French President Emmanuel Macron lost his majority in the National Assembly over the weekend. Well, talking points include the IT group Atos, which is based in Paris, of course. It fell sharply last week after the unexpected departure of its chief executive, and the shares are down another 1.25% this morning after its finance director announced she was following him out of the door. Well, here in London, the FTSE 100 is in positive territory, currently up just over 0.5%. There are falls for some of the mining heavyweights that are balancing out gains elsewhere. The leading blue chip gainer this morning is BT Group. On the downside, the leading blue chip faller is the mining giant Rio Tinto. That is on the back of weaker copper prices. A lot more corporate action outside the FTSE, to be honest, this morning. Mike Ashley's Fraser's Group, the shares there are ahead by some 4.5% after it kicked off a share buyback programme. But the building materials groups, Marshalls and Grafton Group, they are both down 5.5% and 4.5% respectively. That follows a trading update elsewhere in the sector from Kingspan, whose shares are off even more sharply. On the FX markets, well, the main talking point right now is the continued weakness in the yen against the US dollar. The pound, meanwhile, is up by 0.25% against the greenback. It's off by 1/5% right now against the euro. As for the oil price, well, it suffered a big drop on Friday and it's weaker again this morning. That is on concerns over global growth. A barrel of Brent crude will currently set you back $111. Nelson for cricket fans, $111.92 a barrel. That is off just over 1%. Well, with me now is the investment director at Fidelity International, Catherine Young. Catherine, welcome to you. We had an interest rate decision in China today. No change.
Yes, no change. And the reason being is that if we do see such a growing gap between, let's say, the Federal Reserve and the PBOC, it could have an implication in terms of the currency for China. So the PBOC is still very much tweaking in terms of stimulus, so around the edges in terms of both monetary and fiscal policy.
But it's, I mean, the point is the PBOC would presumably dearly love to be adding on more stimulus right now, but they can't because of, as you say, the way that the Fed and other central banks are raising rates. It would depress the currency.
Yes, indeed. And also China doesn't have the same kind of inflationary pressures that we are seeing around the world. So inflation is hovering around 2%. So again, that need to raise rates isn't there in China. And in fact, China is about one cycle ahead of the rest of central banks in terms of where we're currently at.
Now, we've talked in the recent past about power outages in China, which was a bit of a problem a couple of months ago or so. I mean, the country's in the middle of a heat wave right now. Presumably power demand is through the roof.
Yes, it's not so much power that's the cyclical headwind for China at the moment. It's more about the continued lockdowns that we do see. So Macau and Shenzhen just today have imposed some form of lockdowns. And it's that movement of people or lack thereof movement that investors are worried about because of the impact or subsequent result of, for example, consumer sentiment, as well as potential disruptions to the supply side. But we are seeing somewhat improving data as you do see these restrictions being lifted.
Catherine, how much of a communications challenge is this going to pose for the authorities in Beijing? Because, I mean, ultimately, you know, they publish these big GDP growth targets every year. It doesn't seem as though they're going to hit them this year.
Yeah, 5.5% is the targeted GDP number for the year. And that's, sort of difficult or challenging from where we're at the moment. And a lot of commentators are focusing on that. From a stimulus perspective, as we've been talking about, the market has been wanting to see something massive, but the PBOC hasn't come to market with that because, as I said, they're being very cautious and tweaking. So we saw a 33 agenda or item agenda being released. So, really support in various sectors, whether it's tax subsidies, really ensuring that consumer does spend. And that domestic sentiment remains really, really crucial for growth.
These lockdowns to which you referred just now, I mean, they've been in place a while. Do you get the sense that companies are finding ways around it? They're navigating through these lockdowns?
Ian, it's fascinating when it comes to China. Even when we saw the regulatory issues last year, and that really did hurt market sentiment, the companies are so quick to adapt. Whether it's ensuring they had the right policies in place to ensure that they are sticking to the regulation, or, for example, innovation. So yes, indeed, when we look at earnings of companies, we're probably going to see earnings bottom in general in the second quarter, but it's not going to be a massive recovery. It's going to be a very gradual recovery. But given the rest of the world and the way the rest of the world is, China still, relatively speaking, looks attractive.
Now, another market in the region where the central bank is still pursuing a pretty loose monetary policy, of course, is Japan. Is there any sort of sign of concern? I mean, the yen's at a 24-year low against the US dollar right now. Are the authorities bothered by this?
Well, the yen, we saw a Bank of Japan movement last week to support the market. That yen movement is important. We even saw the Chinese currency, as a result of the volatility seen in the yen, behave in a certain way. So, definitely Japan and China are at the other end of the spectrum versus most central banks around the world. So it's very much a wait and see approach. But the risk is globally for all markets. It's policy implementation that's really making markets seem quite skittish.
All right, Catherine, we've got to leave it there. Good to see you as ever. Thanks very much for joining me. Well, still to come here on Ian King Live. We'll have the business review next with Simon English, the Evening Standard. Don't go away.
You are invited to our premier 13th annual Women's Conference, Lady to Lady Global Conference 2022. Theme, Joy. Date, Saturday, 30th July. Doors open at 11 a.m. Venue, Fairview's Concert Halls, the Phoenix Theater, Croydon, CR91DG3, United Kingdom. Register on www.ladytoladyglobal.org. Music Minister, CLC Healing Voices. Simeon. Queenie. Ada Ahe.
Congratulations, I have seen the glory of God.
Conference speakers, Reverend Betty King, Pastor Marjorie, Pastor Sandra.
I did come to Lady, and from that day onwards, my life has never been the same.
See you there.
PR Interventions amplifies yours. Organized products and categories. Welcome to Gabby Dave Global. We are a UK-based online e-commerce store, the first of its kind with license to trade in African products. Some of the products are clothing brands and all beauty accessories, hair and beauty brands, natural aphrodisiacs, processed and dried unprocessed food. Our mission at Gabby Dave is to connect African and Caribbean businesses to customers globally. At Gabby Dave, we ensure our sellers get the best deal for their products. We are not just here to help you reach a wider audience. We are also a distribution center to support business growth by fulfilling orders to your customers from our warehouse, making sure customers receive their products on time. We are inviting all Black-owned businesses to trade on our platform because we strongly believe Africans have a unique brand the customer would appreciate globally. So get in touch today and let us make your product and business go far. Here are some of the benefits of using Gabby Dave Global. User-friendly platform, track your shipment, online support, transparent process, multiple SKUs, multiple products, a platform that encourages manufacturers as well as traders. Our marketing and PR interventions amplifies yours. Organized products and categories for easy access and navigation. Access to global community, especially within UK and Europe.
Rouge from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. The of darkness.
So what did that
myself and the world will adjust. And 2019,
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on The CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi there, this is CJ Buckman, your life coach. And whenever I'm in London, I listen to Star Radio UK right here. But guess what? You can listen to wherever you are.
Body is your man. Bekutu, show them you got the cocoa set. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Harry Song, aka Mr. Songs. This is the Kingmaker Baba for the girls. We're here. This is Star Radio. Don't go nowhere. UK, London. We they call them London for home. For here, we they call them London.
All around the world.
Just have fun and stay blessed.
This is Star Radio UK.
Body is your man. Bekutu, show them you got the cocoa set. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Harry Song, aka Mr. Songs. This is the Kingmaker Baba for the girls. We're here. This is Star Radio. Don't go nowhere. UK, London. We they call them London for home. For here, we they call them London. And that's how you know. Just have fun and stay blessed.
The best radio show. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Star Radio UK. Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Hey there, this is Archie, and it's a Star Radio UK. Yes, hello, good morning and welcome to Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. In accordance and in agreement with Akasa Brimpong this morning, I want to say once again, everything is gonna be alright. Some way, somehow they do. I don't know how they manage to. Some of us believe it's the mighty hands of God working on our behalf. Others believe that it's by their own merits or whatever they are doing good. Others believe that, well, some way, somehow, something has been bestowed upon them, and that's why everything's working all right for them. But I want you to understand that whatever the situation is, you are alive, you are well, you are kicking. What about that? Good morning and welcome to the Monday edition of the morning show. I remain yours sincerely, the one and only. But let me bring you my normal salutation. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth. And those of you on other planets as well, we salute you all and we welcome you to the morning show. To the team this morning, Mr. Olayomi, HRH Linda Pally, and all the way in Cyprus. And to my able producer, Mr. Francis Guy, good morning to you. And Mr. Frank David's working behind the scenes. I salute you all, ladies and gentlemen. Let me take this opportunity to also say good morning to Felix all the way in Aberdeen. I hope that you had a very good weekend. Those of you who are enjoying the sunshine. And of course, Mr. Kofi Ali Abdul Yakin, massive good morning to you. Let me say morning to Mr. David Kluche, Mr. Kit Yosen, good morning to you. Dr. Martin, I salute you. Hope you all guys are doing great. And then to our listeners in the Americas, I salute each and every one of you. Hope you are doing good. Let me say good morning to Comfort. I have it all the way in Minnesota. Comfort. Thanks for the message yesterday. It was lovely. Thank you. And as many of you women who sent the men or the children, it's across board, right? Celebrating the Father's Day. I salute each and every one of you. Kudos to you. And I hope that the men, you felt treated well, you know. But yesterday they sent me some joke, giving results of the Father's Day celebrations in the Volta region. And they were saying that when it came to the Mother's Day, I think 300 and something thousand people celebrated their mothers. And when it came to the fathers, only 22 in various places. I was like, wow, the men, are we that bad? But well, whatever it is, we're doing our best, aren't we? So give us a break, right? Okay. So to all the men, once again, happy Father's Day belated. I hope you were treated like a king. I was treated that way, you know. All right then. So now let's crack on. To those of you in Nigeria, those of you in Ghana, those of you in Uganda, those of you in Gambia, and all in the whole on the African continent, I salute each and every one of you in Australia, in Europe, in Asia as well. Casino all the way in Moscow. I salute you, Casino. I hope you are doing good. But wherever you are, share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages. Let me say good morning to Kojo D. Kojo, I hope you are doing good. Mr. Dave West, good morning to you all. And to all presenters on Star Radio UK, I salute each and every one of you. Welcome to the show. Okay, now let's crack on. So the quote for the day, what does it say? On the 20th day of June 2022.
He will be there through the rain. God will be there through the fire. God will be there.
Okay, so it's saying success is likened to the process of a pregnant woman. A pregnant woman goes through during child labor. Let me take it again. Success is likened to the process a pregnant woman goes through during child labor. If you decide that the pain is too much and you want to give up, you give up the birth of your child or your dream or your vision. So while the pain is going on, whilst it increases, know that you are closer to birthing the dream that you've had. been carrying it for what? Some carrying it years. So once again, welcome. That is by way of the quote for the day. I'm going to bring you the weather forecast and the travel update. Will be followed by updates across the globe or global trotting. And then at 11 o'clock, we'll be having Miss Olayomi keep bringing you updates from Nigeria. Then we go on and then look at other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. And as I say all the time as well, at 12 o'clock, the lines will be open for you to add your voice to the discussions. We then go on from there and exactly at 12:30, I'll take you to Cyprus, where our own HRH Linda Palian will be to bring you Career 101. After that, the catches are brought down for the end of the program. So in a gist, that's what's going to happen today. Thank you very much and welcome on board. Like I say all the time, get yourself a hot or cold drink, whichever is appropriate. If you are standing, hold on to something, sitting, sit very comfortably. Sure of one thing, you will arrive at your destination in peace. However, there could be some bumpy rides, but hey, be rest assured. Okie dokie do. Let me say good morning to Chief Sunday Goho. Thank you very much for that lovely message. I'll be sharing with our people this morning, our listeners and viewers. A very thoughtful statement that he made, and I'm going to bring it your way as well.
Can I get somebody to try something tonight? Can I get you to try something?
Okay, so when it comes to the weather front, it was quite calmer and a bit cooler than it had been over the past week. But hey, we are back on again. It's going to be dry with plenty of sunshine this afternoon. A warm afternoon with gentle breezes spread as well. And then tonight it will stay dry. Skies will remain extensively clear with little in the way of any cloud. However, there is a chance of some patchy mist or fog developing locally. Now when it comes to the temperature is going to be 22 degrees. The lowest is going to be 11 degrees. Pollen level is going to be very high. UV level is going to be high. And pollution is going to be low. Sunset 21 and sunrise for tomorrow morning 04:43 hours. Let me say good morning to Mrs. Felicia AEC there as well. Okay, so now let's crack on. Let's take a quick commercial break and I bring you the travel update. Don't you worry, I'm going to bring you some more music. Yes, everything's going to be alright, yeah?
Tune in to On Point here on Star Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Check it out. Keep your eyes on the road.
This is Star Radio UK.
Okay, so keep your eyes on the roads, and we'll keep you navigated. I promise I'll be on the Star Radio UK travel update that comes to you every weekday from 10:40. It's coming now, 10:48. Well, assuredly, I proudly say for the underground this morning, no issues there, good service throughout. London Overground, TFL, rail, and Tramley, good service. That's what I love. Now, when it comes to the major roads in London, which I'll have a different story to tell you, but A12, A24, A4, A41, Central London Red routes, all experiencing closures. So check before you leave. Now, on the riverbank this morning, in London now, Woolwich Ferry has got special service. That aside, all the others, good service. Now, let's move on to the final segment of the travel update. That's the National Rail. Now, the National Rail, Cross Country, First Transparent and Express, Northern Rail, Scott Rail, and Southern have all got special service. Southeastern has got minor delays as well. But other side, all the others have got good service there. So on that note, as I will say all the time, well. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today, but you know what? Continue to keep those eyes on the roads.
All ladies, you are invited to our premier 13th annual Women's Conference, Lady to Lady Global Conference 2022. Theme, Joy. Date Saturday, 30th July. Doors open at 11 a.m. Venue Fairview's Concert Halls, the Phoenix Theater, Croydon, CR91DG3, United Kingdom. Register on www.ladytoladyglobal.org. Music Minister CLC Healing Voices. Simeon. Queenie. Ada Ahi.
Congratulations, I have seen the glory of God.
Conference speakers Reverend Betty King, Pastor Marjorie, Pastor Sandra.
I did come to Lady, and from that day onwards, my life has never been the same.
See you there.
With Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Welcome back to the program. It is Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London on the Monday edition of the morning show. 8 minutes to the top of the hour at the time. Yes, I remain yours sincerely, the one and only Archie here. So wherever you are, don't touch the dial and let's get cracking on. Okay, so global trotting. What is happening when it comes to the stories making the rounds across the globe? Well, as I say all the time, when Mr. Olayomi comes with some of the information that he's fed me with, I'll bring that your way. And I promise you, I said I had a short clip from Chief Sunday Igboho that I'll be sharing with you as well. Just about how many? About 2 minutes or a minute or sort of. So yeah. Now weekend in talks with APC may dump PDP. Okay, and then top lawmaker dumps APC for Kwankwaso NNPP, and the reaction as NNPP rejects Kwankwaso deputizing Peter Obi. Now I'm in talks with Kwankwaso Peter Obi counters NNPP's statement. Well, so the banter goes on. Who is going to be the running mate? Who is going to be where? How is it going to actually impact? Or yes, their base or their support. Okay. Now, Huriwa accuses Nigeria government of cover-up in Owo massacre. What cover-up are they talking about there? We'll be bringing you more on those stories as we go on. Well, and the Nigeria government is to auction 225 billion naira bond as a search for funds continue. Well, is that going to raise the necessary funds for government? And how judicious are we when it comes to our finances as a state? Now, if it's your money, your personal money, would you use it the way that we have some of our politicians, policymakers using monies? Or because it's not theirs, this is for the states, and then they just go on and do whatever they want to do with it? Okay, all right then. It is all Star Radio UK. I poured out my mind when there was gang up against me before APC presidential primaries. Tinubu says, who were ganging up against him? Well, we'll bring you more about that. And then Ekiti election. Nigeria Civil Defense Corps react to allegation of stealing money meant for vote buying. Well, you want to know more, just stay tuned, don't you go away. There's going to be lots more coming your way from Nigeria exactly at 11 o'clock as well. Now, moving on to some other parts of the African continent and some of the stories making the rounds there. Remains of father of Congolese independence to return to DRC. Who is he? Yes. I'll be telling you more about it. Who is the father of Congolese independence? Huh? A bit of politics there or history there for you. I would love to know. Former Ivorian cleaning lady gains a seat in parliament. Interesting. Don't give up hope. Yeah, somewhere, somehow. You'll get there, isn't it? Right then. And the Mexico City tries to break record for world's largest boxing class. I tell you, if you go to Mexico City, I bet they will box you down. But hey, it's all Starr Radio UK. One confirmed death scores trapped after Saturday's downpour in the central region of Ghana. Well, they've got all those. You know, interestingly, like I was saying the other time, they say, galamsey, and therefore anybody who is undertaking those projects, we have companies who were alleged to have been undertaking, and then their earth-moving machines were confiscated and burnt. Now, do you think that all this, if they were used in the silting, the drains that we have, and well, again, you can't blame government alone when it comes to such issues, because you have citizens who will wait, and when the rain comes out, quickly just go dump their garbage in the drains, so automatically choking the drains, and therefore when it rains, everything just stuck up, and then it floods. But we're talking about the torrential rainfalls that is causing lots of havoc around the place. What answer has government got for them? Repair works ongoing on collapsed Trifo Praso Bridge. So what are they going to do? Because this rains is going to cause lots of havoc when it comes to ECG to take legal action against private developer encroaching on its Aduato substation. Well, and a lot more going to be coming your way from Ghana, my happy home. Well, my younger brother was telling me the other time, he said, if you're there this time around, go take someone's child to say they're teaching them how to sing Ghana, my happy home. I bet the parents will come bashing your face because there's nothing happy to write home about. But what do you think? Well, it is all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. 10:57 Global Trotting. Yes. In other parts of the world as well. Very, very sad story there. In Europe, what happened? Macron has lost majority in split French vote. Less than 2 months after re-election, the president loses control of the National Assembly. So how is it going to pan out for him in his second term as president of France? What now for Macron after polls setback? The results confirm the French leader faces a tricky second term. Our Paris correspondent will bring you more on that front. And Russia becomes China's biggest oil supplier. It was obvious that was going to happen. And then Ukraine warns of Russia escalation during EU bid. The EU leaders will vote on Kyiv's candidate status at a summit in Brussels later this week. Well, coming away from Starr Radio UK and your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Before we take a break and wait for Mr. Olayomi to join in. Huge rail strike will cause misery for millions. Now, last minute talks to take place, but passengers are advised to avoid travel as services wind down. Sometime this week, so Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday is going to be going on. My goodness, you don't want to know what happens when there are train strikes like that. Well, so we'll see. Is government going to come to a compromise? Oh, it's still going to be a stalemate there. What is going to happen? Well, energy firm faces limit on direct debit overpayment. Now, Ofgem has accused some firms of using customer payments like an interest-free company credit card. Yes, they are doing that. Okay, so this and the rumor coming your way. Jeremy Hunt reveals he had cancer. Oh my goodness, our thoughts are with him. We pray that the necessary help whilst he's getting this treatment, may God also help him there. All right then, so now let's take this song and then we come back and we'll be bringing you updates from Nigeria. And this is He Remains the Same by CC Bedu and the Crafted Nation. Enjoy it, and I'll see you in a bit.
Never changing God. still the same. Yes, yesterday, today, and ever. You're not a man that you should lie. Yes, Lord. Yes, you're an amen forever. Would seem harder on such radar. Yes, would seem harder. Oh my, would seem harder on such radar. Yes, would seem harder. You never change. Yes, Lord. You're still the same. Yes, yesterday, today, and yesterday, today, and ever. You're not a man. You're not a man that you shall lie. That you shall lie. You're surely an amen. You're surely an amen. Forever and ever. One more time. You never change. You never change. You're still the same. You're still the same. Yes, yesterday, today, and forever. Yes, yesterday, today, and ever. You're not a man. You're not a man that you should lie. That you should lie. Surely an amen. That's your word. Yes, surely an amen. Forever and ever. Come on, what's in order?
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
In your car, this is Action Radio. Are you ready to turn it up?
Never changing God you are. What's in order? Everybody. What's in order? Oh, such an honor. Sing yes. Yes, so Christ. Hey. What's in order? Oh, such an honor. Say yes, so Christ. Yes, so Christ. What's in order? Can you speak in the language of the Spirit right now? Never changing God. Never changing God. He's the same yesterday. Today and forever. The same yesterday. It's the same
Well, the everlasting God who changeth not. Oh, yes, he remains the same. And so wherever you are this morning, once again, I say a massive welcome to the show. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. I'm bringing the time now to exactement 5 minutes past the top of the hour, whilst we try to get Mr. Olayomi Koiki on. Wherever you are, just stay tuned. But I want to, before I put Yomi on, okay, let me acknowledge him before I play this video from Chief Sunday. A very short one, but it's quite something that I want you to reflect on wherever you are. But Yomi, massive good morning to you.
Well, Well, it is a very good morning to you back in the studio, Mr. Archie. Good morning to all our listeners and viewers from around the globe, and we welcome you to, once again, Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Yes, how are you and how was your weekend?
Well, it was an amazing weekend because I was actually in Manchester, Birmingham. I'm going to be discussing all that, during this. But it was a very beautiful one, and after that, it's been a bit tiring, but it's good to be back again with you and the rest of the team this morning once again on Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Yes, as for tiring, it has been. Some of us couldn't, just even get up to do anything. Yeah, well, so that tired. I didn't know that I was that tired. I was telling Mr. Francis Guy this morning, but hey, I thank God because of the love that we have for you, to do the work that we have to do, and to bring you everything that you need to know. We are here once again. So do me a massive favor, share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones, and invite them to like our pages as well. Those of you on YouTube, those of you on Periscope, those of you on Facebook, Twitter, and all the other social media platforms, we salute you. But before we start with our conversation, let me bring you something from Chief Sunday Igboho, and then we will continue with the program. So just bear with me whilst I bring you that short clip.
Life is so funny. You come with nothing, then fight for everything, and later leave everything and go back with empty hand. God is powerful.
Well, that is Chief Sunday Igboho. I'm bringing you a food for thought this morning. I don't know what you think about that. I don't know how you perceive that statement that he made, but I tell you, how true is it? We keep on fighting for everything, and we end up, when we are being taken away, having nothing in our hands. So, are you living for others?
We can hear you back.
Can you hear us? Hello, Yomi? Okay, I think Yomi can't hear me. Okay, yes, I think my signal is going through. But let me see. Hello, Yomi. Okay, I think Yomi will have to call us back. Yomi, yeah, I can hear you now. Yomi, I can hear you.
Oh, what's wrong?
Okay, listener, just bear with us. Let's sort that technical issue out. Yomi is going to call us back, or we're going to get the lines back on. But as I said earlier on, how true is that statement? Okay, whilst I wait for Yomi to get on the broadcast. Okay, just bear with me whilst I try to get Yomi back on. I think we're having a problem, a connectivity issue there, so we'll wait for him to join in. Okay, yes, all right, but okay, whilst we wait for him, let me quickly once again bring you that Chief Sunday Igboho statement. Some people said they missed that. You can go back to our Facebook, our broadcast, and then re-listen to it after the program. But let me bring it to you once again.
Life is so funny. You come with nothing, then fight for everything, and later leave everything and go back with empty hand. God is powerful.
All of this, that was a statement from Chief Sunday Igboho, which I did tell you about. That was shared with me this morning, and it's true. So whatever is important for you to do is, what impact are you leaving for the next generation? If somebody should write something about you or say something about you, what would the person say about you? Would they say, well, you know, that gentleman who always join us on the broadcast, wow, he will always continue to share the broadcast, though it costs him an arm and a leg? Or what do you think is going to happen there? But it's quite interesting, and once again I say it's a food for thought, and I hope that you just reflect on it. It's true. It doesn't matter how long one lives on earth, it is the impact that you make whilst you're on earth? What legacy are you leaving behind? And some people say, this man want to preach this morning or be a politician. I'm not a politician. I am a journalist. That is what I do, and a presenter. All right then. So once we wait for Mr. Olayomi Koiki, as I did say earlier on, we're having a bit of issue with the connectivity there, but we're trying to get him on. So just bear with us. Oh gosh, what's that? Okay, let me see. There's something happening here. Okay, Yomi, it seems that my Skype is okay. Yes, let's see. So is he there? Okay, bear with us. Okay, I think we are on the path of getting Mr. Olayomi Koiki on. My apologies for the connectivity issue that we seem to be facing this morning, but let me see. Yeah, I can hear him. Okay, whilst we're waiting for the connection to go through. Yomi, good morning once again.
Yeah, very good morning to you back in the studio.
Okay. So we're trying to still get the image. The image has not come on yet, but whilst we are waiting for the image to, come on, let's continue with our conversation. Yeah, you said that over the weekend you were out of London. What happened? What event did you attend to? But let me say good morning to Ajayi Jamil. He said, wow, you people are doing well. Thank you very much, Ajayi. I hope you are doing well too. Have a blessed day. All right then. Yeah, so whilst we wait for the visual, let's go on with the audio. So what was the event that you attended?
Well, we actually took the Yoruba Nation awareness campaign to Manchester City, and then that was on Saturday. We left London just before 9 in the morning, then got to Manchester just literally in time before the event was meant to start at 2 o'clock. And it was a very good outing. We were at Moston Lane, where we have a lot of Yoruba people, or the Nigerians, for those that are still Nigerians, so to call. It was a fantastic one. We were able to showcase the culture. We were able to again what we can call evangelism of the Yoruba Nation, for the benefit of those that could not make it to London over the weekend, the June 12th that we had. I mean, quite a lot of people came down from Manchester, but unfortunately not everybody were able to make it. So they were quite happy, and I'm sure the next turnout at any event, they'll be more than proud to. And then we slept over in Manchester to arrive into Birmingham, just before the service from the, some of the biggest churches that we have, Winners Chapels in Birmingham, and also the Redeemed Christian Church of God. We were also at one of the Islamic event that happens every Sunday, known as the As-Salatu. So we were also at that event on Sunday. Again, it was a very successful one, because quite a lot of people that have been following the Yoruba Nation, and those that have been also campaigning in that particular site in Birmingham, were happy to see that we came all the way down from London, just to make sure that our people are carried along, especially with what is happening. So it was a long one. During that trip, I was able to again project to a lot of Nigerians, the reason why things work in this country. When you look at the road network, leading from London to Manchester, an average 2 million vehicles are passing through that particular road network on a daily basis. There's a service break, so a lot of things that could generate income, if only Nigeria was working for the last 61 years. So it was a kind of a showcase that will be going into city to city, and the next city is already being planned as we speak right now.
Wow, that's a good one. Quite busy what we call it, weekend for you. But before I come to my question that I wanted to pose, Anthony Adedeji and Oyegoke Oluwole, good morning to you all, and thank you very much for joining us once again. Now, Yomi, so it looks like the momentum is more in London than other parts of the UK and of the world, apart from Nigeria. Am I right or wrong?
Well, yes, you're quite right. Looking at the, in every part of the wherever we stay, people tend to stay more in one particular location than the other. So we have more Nigerians staying in London as compared to more Nigerians staying outside London. But I think in the last 20 years, quite a lot of Nigerians have moved, from London, to outside London because it's more cheaper. I spoke to a young man that we met in Birmingham, and he said after his university at University of Greenwich, he relocated back some about almost 12 years ago. He's doing very well in his own small little business. He does coconut chips, and he says he's been much more stable than some of his colleagues. We all know London is quite expensive. One of our hosts, that kept us in his own beautiful 5-bedroom house. I mean, you can imagine what you would have to pay. Should you want to have a 5-bedroom house in London, that means you're talking about almost quite a lot of money in there. So the reason why people don't want to live in London is not because of anything, is because London has become a very, very expensive city, and should you want to live in London, you must also have the means of income. So so that indicates that yes, we do have quite a lot of Nigerians that are pickpocket all over the country, but London seems to be the pinpoint of where a lot of Nigerians live and work and do businesses.
Well, listeners, Mr. Olayomi in our North London studios. I'm Archie, and we are bringing you updates from Nigeria. And that was just a bit of information pertaining to some events that took place on the campaign, or the awareness, or the evangelism when it comes to the Oduduwa. Okay, so wherever you are, welcome to the program. We don't just look at that, we look at various stories that is making the rounds. But 1.5 million people in Borno IDP camps. Now, the Gabriel Nyetse, Chief of Staff to Governor Samuel Otum, says 1.5 million persons are in various internally displaced people's camps in Borno State, and that is quite frightening. Now, so that is only that part of Nigeria. What about the other states where there's been lots of attacks or insecurity there? Can you give us a bit more on that, please?
Well, when you look at the IDP in Nigeria, it's quite a lot of issues that have been ongoing, since the insurgency, the terrorist attack, in most part of the northeast and the northwest and the north south. When we talk about that, you have to wind it down to some particular more areas are much more bigger than the others. But as we do know, the northeast Nigeria has been well hit. When we come to the IDP camp. So you're quite right. The Chief of Staff to Governor Samuel Otom says 1.5 million persons are various internal displaced pupils in the IDP camp in Benue State. When we look at Benue geographically, Benue is meant to be the food basket of Nigeria, but the way it is right now, because of the insurgency, the killings and so much, it hasn't done the needful. Farmers are being killed, and that means villages, local government is now in control of the terrorist attack in the country. And as the Chief of Staff was saying, that noted that the terrorists have turned the majority of farmers in Benue into destitute and could lead to food insecurity in the country. As we do know, I was also, last week we were talking about, Peter will be talking about almost 100 million Nigerians are people living in what we can call extreme poverty. In one of the headlines that I've got here as well, worst individuals in the society are people leading Nigeria. So it seems also that as you could tell that does that mean that we have the worst people? There's a lot of Nigerians that are suffering, but when we talk about the IDP, is a different kind of sufferness, because already they've lost everything. They've lost their homes, they've lost their community in the hands of the terrorist insurgency in the country. So you're quite right. As of this morning, Benue State alone is holding almost 1.5 million internal displaced people.
Wow, interesting. Listeners, Star Radio UK. Now, so when it comes to refugees, I mean internally displaced people, I call them refugees. How are they catered for in Nigeria? Is there are there structures that have been built, or is just a camp where they are living in tents? And then you look at, have they made provision for toilets or do they have anything of the sort?
Well, you would think that would be the case, but again, not literally, because we have a lot of NGOs, international NGOs, and I'm just looking at how we touch lives, is coming from these, particular, CSHPN. I'm going to give us the full details of that. How we touch lives in the IDP camp. This is coming from the Community Social Humanitarian Project Nigeria, Abuja. A non-governmental organization claimed it has touched the lives of over 2,000 Nigerians, especially those in various internal displaced persons. A lot of people are doing their little bit, but again, because of the pressure that we have at the moment, there was a fallout between the management and the workers over donations that come to support those in the camp. We try to manage the crisis. We have been able to. It seems also is a kind of a money machine. The more people that we have in the IDP, the more the international community, the more the World Bank. And remember, the UN secretary, was in Nigeria some few weeks back, and while he was there, he did, visited, some of these, remote area, and you would wonder what more could have been done when it comes to, again, some of the issues that is contained in Nigeria today. So, Anthony Guterres was in Nigeria some few weeks back, but again, so many Nigerians have been asking the question, what can be done, to save the lives of an average Nigeria, whether living in the north, the southeast, or the southwest. But that doesn't seem to be concern to most of the politicians, and that is why this morning another headline from Peter Obi says worst individuals in the society are people leading Nigeria. 70% of those in politics today should not have any reason to be there. I have said it. Politics in Nigeria is a case where lunatics have taken over the asylum.
Well, lunatics have taken over the asylum. That means that nobody is in control of anything that is going on. That's what he wants to say. But listeners, it is Star Radio UK. The time now is 11:22, and it is the Monday edition of the morning show with Mr. Olayomi and I'm not London Studios. I'm Archie here in the Southern studios. Let's move on to some of the other stories making the rounds. Nigeria is supposed to be a crude oil producing country where at least a couple of refineries there, though they say that the refineries are not making enough, refining enough of the crude oil, and therefore there seems to be a shortage in Lagos, where it has happened that passengers are stranded due to fuel scarcity. How wonderful that story.
Well, you're quite right. There's nothing new again in Nigeria that becomes new to some of us, especially when you look at a country. While I was in Birmingham, we had people that drove all the way from Leicester, Coventry to join us, and we had a particular engineer that came in, to participate in that, helping of the evangelism, and he was talking about how some almost some 10 years ago, while he was a student, a graduate, working in the Kanji Dam as an engineer, and some of the British that came in to train them, when he returned back to this country, was a shock to see that a government will allow some of their best to leave the country for something else that they will have to start all over again. And as you can tell, again and again, the reason why things do not work in Nigeria is, projects are given to the wrong people, and then the wrong people will probably don't know what to do, and that is why Peter Obi is using the word lunatics are running the country. Even Pastor Enoch Adeboye, we visited one of their churches as well, like I said, in Birmingham, talked about 80% of Nigerians, 20% are the ones holding the bondage of the lives of millions of Nigerians. So you're quite right. Many passengers were stranded at various bus stops in Lagos State. Lagos is meant to be the mega city. I was looking at the road network as just as the like you did talked about it. Nigeria is meant to be the 6th largest crude oil producer, but we are not producing anything. But that seems to be the phrase that is being used, because whatever we are producing is an importation, either from England, from China, from other countries that are helping us to do so, until where the government rely on the Dangote refinery to be on a full production. The scarcity of vehicles was attributed to fuel scarcity, which was gradually building up in some part of Lagos. According to what we heard, Ogba, Baja, and other area, Aguda College Road, among others, the situation was the same at bus stop around Popular Beggar, as many passengers were already trekking. And the question is, where are they trekking to?
Where are they trekking to? Now, you didn't mention a gentleman who you said through a conversation was saying that, well, he was trained by the British engineers or whoever came to Nigeria to come and train them. I mean, from under government, it could be government funding the whole thing because to equip them with the knowledge. And when this person came to the UK, decided that, okay, it's enough what is going on there. Let me just come here, come and work. The British looking at him think that, wow, are your government actually right up there, or exactly what is happening? But my question is, to what length, if you are listening to us, to what length would you go when you see that, well, I've been trained as a medical doctor, maybe a surgeon, and I'm in Nigeria, yet I can see the deplorable state. Now, how far would you want to go to say that I'm sacrificing myself to just continue in Ghana, in other parts of the African continent as well? How far would you want to go? Well, let us hear from you. Let us see your comments as well. Okay, Yomi. Now let's move on to some other story. What's individuality? Okay. What's individual society are people leading Nigeria? That's what Peter Obi has said. And he's a lunatics leading the asylum. Okay. Now, debt servicing doubles, hits 896 billion in 3 months. That's what the DMO report is saying. So is Nigeria becoming worse off, or are we, as the politicians will say, oh, look, we are things are getting better? What is happening to Nigeria at all?
Well, yes, you're quite right. Nigerian debt servicing has increased by almost 109% to 896.56 billion, according to findings. But the question is, why are we paying so much, and where are the projects, for all this money that have been taken from the, from different countries, the World Bank, the IMF, but yet, it doesn't reflect back to an average Nigeria in the country. As the result, the country has also spent 3.83 trillion on debt servicing payment in 15 months, according to the data from the Debt Management Office, while a total of 9.9 trillion was spent on debt servicing alone in 2021. A total of 896.56 billion was spent in the first quarter. So there's this probability that what we're going to be spending, in terms of, our debt repayment will be much bigger than what we spent in 2021. Meanwhile, between October and December 2021, Nigeria spent 310 billion naira on domestic debt servicing, while it spent $286 million, an average about almost 118 billion naira on the external debt servicing, giving our total of 429. However, between January and March alone this year, 2022, Nigeria have spent alone 668.69 billion. A lot of Nigerians hear about this big gigantic money, but yet, as you can see in Lagos, there is no infrastructure. In Kogi, there's no infrastructure. In the southeast, there's no infrastructure. I was watching an aircraft that was landing back to Abuja. It flew out of Abuja, to Benin City, but could not land because there was no electricity at the airport, and they have to literally fly it back again to Abuja. These are the kind of atrocities that the Nigeria has done to millions of Nigerians. But it also seems that Nigerians are happy. There seems to be happy people because the election that took place in Ekiti State, people were literally collecting 5,000 naira, and we saw videos of people fighting, collecting those money. Maybe somebody was going to take a little bit more from what they're meant to be offered, and that shows that the country continue to have the deprived of millions of people from the basic things of life. According to the exchange rate that we have this morning, the exchange rate of the central bank shows $1 is 415 naira, but you're not going to get any dollar in any of the banks because they don't have the dollar in the first place. So you would have to go to the black market. And as we speak today, this indicates that the amount the country spent on debt servicing has now rose to 109%. 11:30. This is Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Yes, listeners, Mr. Olayomi bringing up this from Nigeria. Now let's go to the Ekiti election that took place, and they are talking about the fact that monies were being dished out like no man's business, as we were talking about earlier on. Now, what exactly took place there? Because Nigeria Civil Defense Corps reacts to allegation of stealing money meant for vote buying. There were reports on Saturday of how operatives of the corps stormed polling units 9 of Ward 10 Lupeju along Ikere Ado Expressway in Ekere, Ekiti. What took place there?
Well, you've got to remember that we do not have the whole country having a simultaneous election together. So that means, due to court cases that has happened in the past, the cycle of having every state running, an election according to the INEC, as we know, doesn't happen. So what has taken place was the governorship election in Ekiti State, and likewise the one that will be coming up in Osun State. INEC has declared Oyebanji the winner of Ekiti governorship election. It was a very, very low turnout because a lot of people did not turn out. The INEC, the Independent National Electoral Commission, has declared the candidate of the APC, Biodun Oyebanji, the winner of Ekiti State governorship election. The returning officer, Professor Kayode Adebowale, the Vice Chancellor of Ibadan, announced the result. APC scored 187,000. Defeated, closer rival was SDP at 82,000. PDP was 67,000, and other parties as well. But the question is, the legality of that. Remember that Ilana Omodua was going to challenge, the validity of these particular elections, but it has been thrown out, strike out as we speak. But there's still a review on that. And the reason for that purpose was because of the military decree 1999 constitution. But as we saw, with video evidence, I was just watching one this morning where a police officer literally cut away a ballot box, and the question is, you can't say you've had a legitimate election, with evidence of corruption, malpractice, surrounding this election. And it just shows that, most of these two political parties, either the APC or the PDP, does not have the good intention, for the Nigerians. But Nigerians themselves, because of the poverty, are ready to collect as little as the peanut, so that, they can turn for whoever is paying the highest bidder.
Well, interesting times. But listeners, if you remember, a couple of weeks ago, we had the massacre that took place in Owo. Okay, the Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria has stated that the terrorists responsible for the deadly terror assault in Owo, Ondo State, on the parishioner at a Catholic church may never be apprehended by the federal government. Now, I remember sometime last week or thereabout, we had information coming through that the federal government or the security agencies have arrested some individuals. So what is this Human Rights Writers Association talking about there? Do you have any information pertaining to that, sir?
Well, yes, you're quite right. Last week there was a bit of jubilation, relief that people that did the attack, which is now almost, coming to the third week, at the, the sad incident in our local government in Ondo State, the south of Nigeria, have been captured. But as we do note this morning, no one has been captured. We are not too sure why, all that played out. But as we do tell, things happen in Nigeria that you can hardly understand, what is the game behind it. Politics seems to be playing out. Maybe, the traditional rulers was under a kind of a pressure, to come up to suppress, the incident. And as we continue to say, even as at the weekend yesterday, on Saturday, more Yoruba people in the southwest of Nigeria were attacked by the Fulani terrorists, in Iseyin local government. I've seen some of the, the videos of those that have been arrested, that were injured, and you could just tell that there is already danger in the country when it comes to lack of insecurity. And the question again is, what role are the governors doing to protect lives and property? But as we speak today, almost third week after the terrorist attack, no one has yet to be arrested towards the sad incident of so many Nigerians that died at that particular Catholic church, St. Francis Catholic Church.
Well, listeners, so we follow the story very closely. Insecurity in Nigeria, do you feel secure there? Some say that, well, in the midst of insecurity, some people feel very rested and they are sure that they are going to be okay. Now, what about you? I want to know what you think about that. But it is Starr Radio UK, updates from Nigeria with Mr. Olayomi. Now, let's go to Yomi for all the others that is making the rounds. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. Quite a lot happening. We saw Tinubu, according to the headline here, Tinubu returns to Lagos, 6 massive local government votes. But we also saw some of the, the vehicles that he was driving in. A lot of people are already complaining that he's not yet a president, but the amount of vehicle that is traveling with him, people were had to stand for 3 hours on the traffic that was stopped just because Tinubu was on his way, into Lagos. I've seen that video, and it just shows, the wastage of our politicians, the wastage of, an average politicians, and the kind of abuse of power. I mean, you hardly see, politicians in Europe or some other African countries traveling in such a convoy. But we also saw that some of his vehicles were also attacked. We're not sure whether is due to the anger of people that have been staying in that traffic, for over 3 hours. Also, Ogun gunmen take cigarette, rice, and free adopted church leaders. So it seems it's now becoming trade by barter. When you get kidnapped in Nigeria, if you don't have the money, you could probably trade in with some other food stuff or some other things. 2 worshippers that was adopted last Monday by gunmen at the Celestial Church of Christ, Oshofa, Wasimi, in the Ewekoro local government area of Ogun State, southwest of Nigeria, have now been released. The founder of the church, Oluwatosin Olugabi, said the victims were all released on Saturday, but without paying something in their return. He reported that the terrorists who wear masks and vest caps invaded the church, adopted the assistant shepherd of the parish, Oluwaseun Ajose, and a Sunday school teacher, Dangoro Ayobami. The government had reduced their demand from 10 million to from 50 million to 10 million as of Thursday. But on Sunday, Olugabi disclosed that the church leaders were released after 1 million ransom was paid, but with also some other goodies as well, like the rice and the cigarette, to the terrorists that came in. Police bust Kano imposter blackmailing Facebook lovers with nudes. That's also coming. Kano Emir leave for Morocco on official visit. That is coming as well. Nigeria ranks 143 in 2022 Global Peace Index. Let's take a look at that, and then I'm going to come back again to you because of the time constraint. The 2022 Global Peace Index has ranked Nigeria 143 among 163 independent nations and territories according to the level of peacefulness. Nigeria moved 3 places up on the log from 146 position it was ranked last year. Other countries ahead of Nigeria in the ranking are Mauritius, Ghana, Gambia, Sierra Leone, Equatorial Guinea, Malawi, Senegal, Morocco, Rwanda, Liberia, Gabon. And according to what we know, Iceland was ranked the most peaceful country in the world. And the question is, Iceland itself is not even up to the population of Lagos State. And that is why those that are campaigning for the self-determination are saying we could be better off in a smaller country where we're going to be more peaceful. There'll be security, there'll be welfare, there'll be, everything that you can think of, as being in a country where, as we speak today, so many people are dying for the basic things of life. Afghanistan with 163, Yemen 162, Syria 161, Russia 160, South Sudan 159 are the least countries in the world. So it seems, Nigeria is just a bit of 143 among the others as well. I'm going to go straight to the social media. It's 11:39 because of the time constraint, and let's see what is actually trending. Now, Father's Day is trending, as we do know that Father's Day was just yesterday. Ekiti State is trending at number 4, and it just indicates the election that was just held in Ekiti. Again, it shows how money played a lot of difference. Let's look at what Ifa Funsho at Funsho Graphics said. There is no difference between the people that collect money to turn print in Ekiti and the influencer on the social media that collect money to campaign for their candidate. Again, let's take a look at one more. Again, Tinubu, a presidential candidate moving like an American president. Nigeria is a big joke. We told them that Nigeria can't be savage. I told Nigerian youth to prepare for war because of the corrupt government cabals are coming in with war. This is coming from Emeka Gift official. So I'm going to take one more from what is trending in Ekiti, and then I'm going to come back as well. Again, Reno Mokere, very popular man on the social media, a one-time spokesman for Goodluck Jonathan, a strong supporter of Atiku. He's been very, very active, in the last couple of weeks, especially battling between, the followers of Peter Obi. He's supporting Atiku. Traditionally, the party that wins the Ekiti election usually lose the presidential election. In 2014, PDP Ayo Fayose won in Ekiti. The next year, PDP lost the 2015 election. I study patterns in politics and business. Ekiti makes me confident of victory in 2023. So he's already putting that victory to Atiku, in 2023. But that's again subject to, what others are saying. I spoke to Mrs. Abiola Onitiri over the weekend, and she continued to say the assurance that the Yoruba people will be out of Nigeria, and that is the message that she was asked us to continue to tell. She was on the Star Radio UK on Wednesday last week, and that can still be watched on Star Radio UK. I'm going to take one more. Aloy Ejimako, one of the the leader of Nnamdi Kanu, to be born Igbo in #Nigeria is a great burden, yet it is a burden I bear proudly and heroically. To my brethren, never apologize for being #Igbo, even with a gun pointed to your head. To those that threaten me, hear this, I am not an Igbo with a trembling knee. So you can see that there's a lot of pressure, in the country, the marginalization, the suppression, and that is why, a lot of the self-determination are literally saying that they've had enough. There's an ongoing prayer section that I've started yesterday, from the Yoruba perspective, and that is going to go on till tomorrow, for those that might probably like to listen to that. I'm going to take out the last one. Robert Spencer, Muslims attack 2 churches, murder 3 people, and adopt so many. Again, there's a lot of terrorists operating in Nigeria, and as we continue to say to our loved ones, let's remain very, very vigilant. 11:42, I'm going to come back now to you, 20th of June 2022.
Well, listeners, updates from Nigeria with Mr. Olayomi Koiki. Now, if you are listening to us, wherever you are listening to us from, feel free, you can put your comments on our Facebook page, and I promise you I'm going to read that as well. And as many of you who have joined us already on the Facebook page, we salute you. Those of you on YouTube, let me see whether, whilst I ask Mr. Olayomi one question to see whether there are any comments on the YouTube, and I'll bring that your way. And Yomi to also try to see from his end if there are any individuals that we need to acknowledge. He's going to do that as well. But Yomi, a question that was sent through to me directly, someone was asking a question that assuming it happened, assuming that the Yoruba nation has, is allowed to break away from Nigeria. Now, what happens to let's say the northerners or those from the southeast who are living there? What will happen to them? Do they need visas to come and live there? What is going to happen? Because it's no more Nigeria. What is going to happen? Or is it going to be ECOWAS region and therefore everybody can just do whatever they want to do?
Well, I believe when the UK left European Union, there was a process for the European citizens that are still working, living, married here in UK, and there was room for them. The leader of the self-determination I've always says, the Yoruba people will not be hostile, to their neighbors in regard to coming out of Nigeria. So whoever is living in that particular territory when the breakups eventually come up will still have to live there, and again they will then have to abide by the new rules and constitution in that particular geographical area. And if they feel that that might not be good for them, just as if you live in UK and you are not abiding by the rules and regulations, you will have no other option either to be deported or you can go back to a country that will be much more conducive for you.
Well, listeners, George M, that is for your information. So if you are law abiding, you can still sit and work and enjoy the peace of life that has been promised. Okay, now before we run up the conversation, Yomi.
Well, we're back again for another beautiful week where we continue to give all the latest news, the update coming out of Nigeria. Tomorrow I'll be back again at exactly 11 o'clock. But you still have Archie and the rest of the team that will be taking you through the rest of the segment. Remember, if you're sending money home to your loved ones, remember to use send waves. My name is Olayomi. I'll be back again for more update tomorrow at exactly 11 o'clock. Have a very good morning, good afternoon to those of you that are watching us from different parts of the globe.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Olayomi Koiki. Have a lovely day, and like you said, we'll be bringing you more tomorrow, God willing, once we come on to the show. But I'm going to bring you one patriotic song from Nigeria, one that I've come to fall in love with of late, and it talks about the peace that Nigeria needs so dearly. And I pray that our leaders, wherever they are listening in, and they will see to address that issue. But enjoy this, and I'll be with you in a moment.
Woke up to an eerie morning, the children playing. No sounds of greetings, one neighbor to another. Oh, it's quiet and gloomy. Peace don't live here no more. No more.
Can't believe how much we've hurt each other. Can't believe the damage we've done.
Brothers hurting brothers, neighbor harming neighbor.
Children grieving for their parents, hacked down before their time.
I can't go out, I don't know who to trust. Fear is just the order of the day.
Is this the way we want to live?
With peace we don't have to grieve. When peace reigns, fear goes out the door. With peace we can work out our differences, put an end to all the hate. With peace we don't have to grieve. When peace reigns, fear goes out the door. With peace we can work out our differences, put an end to all the hate.
Oh, I know you were hurt, the blow you've been down, so yeah.
Cuts teeth like a knife, but we mustn't pay back in kind.
Leave no room in your heart for vengeance and hatred, no, no. And eye for an eye, so leaves everyone blind.
Hey, we have our differences, we cannot change things making war.
Without peace, all dreams are hold. Well, yeah.
Without peace, there's no room to build. So much work to be done
To make Nigeria the country of our dreams.
With peace we don't have to when peace reigns, fear goes out the door. With peace we can work out our differences, put an end to all the hate. With peace we don't have to grieve.
My apologies. That is something for you, but it's Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station. Give peace a chance. Give peace a chance. Give peace a chance. Okay, now let's move on to some other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world, but that will be after this short commercial break. So stay tuned, don't you go away. Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
All ladies, you are invited to our premier 13th annual Women's Conference Lady to Lady Global Conference 2022. Theme, Joy. Date, Saturday, 30th July. Doors open at 11 a.m. Venue, Fairview's Concert Halls, the Phoenix Theater, Croydon, CR91DG3, United Kingdom. Register on www.ladytoladyglobal.org. Music Minister, CLC Healing Voices. Simeon. Queenie, Ada Ahe.
Congratulations, I have seen the glory of God.
Conference speakers Reverend Betty King, Pastor Marjorie, Pastor Sandra.
I did come to Lady, and from that day onwards, my life has never been the same.
See you there.
Here on Star Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Welcome back to the program. It is Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now to 5 minutes to the top of the hour. And it is the Monday edition of the morning show. And as I said, on Mondays, exactly at 12:30, we cross over to Cyprus, where our own lady HRH Linda Pallian is already waiting in the wings for us. So we'll be joining her at that time. But for now, we're going to be going through other parts of the world and to look at some of the stories making the rounds there. So don't tag the dial. Be with me. Stay with me. Let your dial still be logged on Star Radio UK. I remain yours sincerely, the one and only Archie. Welcome once again. All right then. So what's happening across other parts of the world? Yes, going straight to one story making the rounds in Ghana as well. Downpours. Rain. Someone say rain, go away. But this rain is not going away nowhere. One person has been confirmed dead and scores of people trapped in their homes at Amamoma in the central region. And nearly 1,000 people who were also affected by Saturday's downpour in the Commander Edina Eguafu Ebre municipality are seeking shelter in churches, mosques, and school blocks. Now, more than 100 houses and some major bridges linking several towns and communities have collapsed following the overflow of some rivers in the region. Now, the story says that some central regional correspondent has reported that the road from Elmina Junction to the Ankafo prison is impassable with the houses nearly submerged. Now, Director General of the National Disaster Management Organization, Nana Ajimang Prempe, has asked residents to move to higher grounds to ensure their safety. It goes on, as I said, we are here with some relief items for them. Currently, they are in safe haven. They are in churches, classrooms, blocks, and mosques. Now, some of them have gone to live with their relatives and friends in other areas. We are going to make the presentation of the relief items to the affected individuals. Now, when it comes to this presentation of relief items as well, I have a problem with it because they will be telling that, but those who actually need that don't get it. It doesn't. I mean, sink down to those people. I mean, just trickling down effect. It doesn't get to those who actually need them. But I hope that this time around they will not be using any political spectacles or lenses, but just give to every individual who is actually affected by this. And we'll see how relief agencies will be working. The member of parliament for Chifo-Himang Bright Rekubrobe has said the roads and highways ministry has assured of fixing the roads that have been washed away by floods immediately. Interesting. Now, we heard news early yesterday mornings, and since that time we have done all we can, including getting in touch with everybody who matters, particularly the road minister, who according to him immediately dispatched his rapid response team and directed a very resourced contractor working on the Chifu-Praso Dunkwa stretch to come in. Well, we hope that they are able to sort it out so that people can go about their daily chores or their daily duties the way as comfortable as they can. Now, fortunately for us, the bridge itself was not affected. The engineers have confirmed that it is the road itself that has been washed away. I am pretty sure by close of the day they can open this road to traffic. Will appeal to residents to be calm. Some of these things happen to us in life, he said. Well, natural disasters do happen everywhere in the world. So what they're saying that it's one of those things, man. So bear with us. But how is government response going to be like? It's interesting. We'll be looking into that as well. Now, some other stories making the rounds there. We're going to be looking at repair works are going on the collapsed Chifu-Praso bridge, as I did announce. All those bits to make sure that people are able to go about their duties in peace and safe. Okay, now Speaker's directive to Finance Minister due to past history, experts are saying. Last Friday I did talk about the Speaker of Parliament in Ghana issuing a directive to the Finance Minister. The Second Director of Parliamentary Network Africa, Samuel Beng, says Speaker of Parliament Alban Gbagbe directive to Finance Minister results from precedents. Now, this statement comes after the Speaker of Parliament Alban Gbagbe announced that he had put all businesses from the Ministry of Finance on hold until all pending questions are answered and a COVID-19 expenditure statement is delivered by Sector Minister Ken Oforiatta. Already, a 75 million euro facility for COVID-19 response program has been suspended pending the delivery of the account statement to the House. The majority leader, Osaiche Mensah Bonsu, however, came to the defense of the minister following the postponement of the session. Until we go through accountability process, we will not take the motion today. He has another request before us that will also be affected until he comes to respond to the questions and to submit the statement giving an explanation as to how the money has been applied. We will not entertain any business from the ministry. He pleaded that he should see them, that is the questions, first, read them and appreciate what the technical people have brought, and if there are any other matters to be added on, he does so. He comes to this house so that he will be able to give a comprehensive response. Now, for anybody to jump to the conclusion that the minister is running away from responsibility, I shudder to think of how that is coming about. The majority leader, Osaiche Mensah Bonsu, said in Parliament. Mr. Chairman Sabonsu said it has been recommended that the Finance Minister appears before Parliament on Wednesday, that's June 22. Now, commenting on the issue with the host of at the station. The executive director of Parliamentary Network Africa stated that the finance minister has failed to appear before Parliament on a stipulated date in the past. He stated that Album Bagwin directive is due to some attitude exhibited by the minister in the past. In a quote, he said, "I know that when ministers are needed to answer questions and they cannot honor the invitation, they send their deputies to represent them. The decision by the Speaker of Parliament to put all business from the Ministry of Finance on hold until all pending questions are answered is definitely due to some attitude exhibited by the minister in the past," Samuel Bing said. All right then. So, what do you think? Do they go on? When will the umpires be broken so that they will sit and look at issues that is going on? It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, one final story from Ghana, and then I'll be opening the lines now. Yes, bear with me. Okay. My job is to support government, not the opposition, Presby moderator says. Now let me bring you that and then we move on. The moderator of the Presbyterian Church of Ghana, Right Reverend Professor Joseph Obriyabua, says it is not his duty to, as a moderator and chairman of the Christian Council of Ghana, to join the opposition to fight government. According to him, as a leader of the two Christian organizations, he also has a duty to support the government in power and help it succeed. As a moderator of the Presbyterian Church of Ghana, and it is not my duty to join opposition. No, he said, it is my duty to help every government, no matter which government it is, to succeed. I will do my best to help government to succeed and pray for this government that the government will succeed and do better to the glory of God. The moderator said this on Friday, June 17, during the commemoration of the 70th anniversary of Abetifi Presbyterian College of Education. Now, the comment comes in the wake of mounting pressure on the clergy for not criticizing government on issues of national concern as they used to do under the previous administration. The General Superintendent of the Assemblies of God Church, Ghana, Reverend Professor Paul Frimpong Manso, in an interview with the media in Koforidua, urged the clergy to live up to their role as voice of conscience of the nation by speaking out on issues of national interest without fear, favor, and bias. He said God has raised the clergy to speak truth to power, to demand social justice and equity, and become voice for the voiceless, while at the same time he be partners of development because they are afraid of what people will say, or he is NDC or he is MPP. You will get these politicians speaking against us. When we speak, they will say the pastors are speaking too much. When we don't speak, they will say the pastors are not speaking. To me, God has raised ministers of the gospel as conscience of the nation. We are to speak for the voiceless. And our pastors speaking for the voiceless? That is a question that has been posed by most people, or pondering about by most people in Africa and in Ghana, to be specific. All right then, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. We're going to take a break, and once we come back, we're going to be looking at what is happening. Well, remains of the father of Congolese independence is going to be brought back to the country, Patrice Emery Lumumba, more than 60 years after his death. So if he were alive, how old would he be now? Well, we'll be looking into all that in a moment, but wherever you are, stay tuned. Don't you go away. Well, the looming strike, the union strike that's going to be taking place in the UK. What do you think? Now, if you are working in any of those industries, you think that, well, government is not seeing to our needs, not hearkening to our requests, and therefore we got to strike. And others are thinking that, well, if you strike, you are impacting our duties, our jobs as well, and therefore there is that impasse there that the labor leader is saying that, well, that's what government wants to feed on. And where there is that banter between those who are on the strike and those who are supposed to want to use the facilities or the services to also get about their duties or their day. Now we're going to be bringing more on that, but if you want to call join in the conversation, feel free to do so. It is 0208133257 or 58 0208133257 or 58. In US or Canada, it is 0017183032737 0017183032737. You can text or WhatsApp as 0753966144 0753966144. Twitter handle is Starr Radio UK and email address is info@starradiouk.com. Don't go away, stay tuned.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. Of darkness.
So what did that
myself and the world will adjust. And 2019,
forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. 10 minutes past 12 the time. The morning show, the Monday edition, of course. Exactly in the next 20 minutes, I'll be taking you to Cyprus, where our own HRH Linda Palian will be to join us this afternoon on Career 101. You have to make sure you join that program because, well, you know what happens. There is no limitation. So it doesn't restrict you to those of you living in the UK or even a particular geographical area. Wherever you are, if you use the principles that has been applied during that conversation, it will help you when it comes to your profession, your career, name it, whatever it is there. So please make sure that you join us there. Maybe you got up to the pinnacle, wherever you have to be, but maybe there's somebody beneath you who needs that hand. You can also recommend them to let them listen to the program. It will help them a great deal. All right then, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now let's move on to some other stories, as I said, making the rounds this morning. Well, on the African continent, now more than 60 years After his death, the remains of assassinated Congolese Prime Minister Patrice Emery Lumumba are being handed over to his family today. Now, Lumumba, along with two fellow fighters, were murdered on the 17th of January 1961 in Katanga. Only one tooth was found in Belgium years later. It is a relic that the Belgian justice system will hand over to Lumumba's family this Monday in two-part ceremony at the Egmont Palace in Brussels. On Tuesday, the Congolese delegation will return to the DRC, where the relic will be taken to all places relevant in the life of the man who still embodies Congolese independence. Do you think that this was going to bring about some unity in Congo? What else? What else is going to happen to that? I mean, I'm just looking at it holistically. What is the benefit? Because I like projects. I like when we undertake any project or anything of the sort, I ask myself, does this actually benefit the society? If it's only a tooth that has been found or what's left. Well, it is Starr Radio UK. Interesting development there. Maybe it will make the current leadership think twice on what they're going to be doing. It is all Starr Radio UK. Now, some other stories. Developing countries win WTO vaccine waiver. That's quite an interesting one. Now, developing countries won a 5-year waiver of patents on vaccines against COVID-19. The decision follows intense negotiation at the World Trade Organization, WTO, on Friday. 164-member body announced their decision. Okay, that's good for the African continent. Now, the agreement is intended to allow local factories to produce vaccines or the ingredients necessary to make them without the consent of the patent holders. Vaccines can then be exported to other developing countries. Now, since the start of the pandemic, South Africa and India have repeatedly denounced inequalities in access to vaccine doses in what has been called a vaccine apartheid. According to the WHO, 60% of the world's population has received 2 doses, but the situation is still inequitable, with only 17% of the population vaccinated in Libya, 8% in Nigeria, and less than 5% in Cameroon. Quite interesting. Now, if you're listening to us and you're that part of the world, would you want to receive a vaccine now? People are thinking, look, now everything seems to be going down, man. So it looks like the COVID and everything that's going on, virtually vanishing. The other time I was asking somebody, is COVID still around? They said, yeah. And I said, really? I think that it's gone down. But I was having a chat with a friend of mine yesterday back in Ghana. And she was saying that, look, I've had COVID, And I was like, oh, okay. Now I know COVID is still there. But, well, what do you think about that? It's all Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Just hold on for a minute whilst I get my camera back on. Well, 10 men share $10, but this time around they are doing their best to make sure that one man also gets some, so everybody gets some. So that's what the WTO has been able to negotiate on behalf of developing countries. Now, what do you think? Would you want to take some vaccines now? Well, I don't know. People are thinking that, well, there are other ways of getting yourself out of there, so why don't you? Now, Tunisia protests constitutional reforms pushed by President Kais Saied. Yes, I want to talk about this a couple of weeks ago thereabout, where we're looking at the Tunisian president's take on rewriting the constitution. But weekly protests are still persistent in Tunisia. Tunisians took part in demonstration organized by National Salvation Front, a coalition of opposition parties and civil society groups, to protest against President Kais Saied and an upcoming July 25 constitutional referendum. Now, President Kais Saied is seeking constitutional reforms which, according to him, will help in curbing extremism in the North African country. It is not a serious plan, upcoming July 25 constitutional referendum, so we don't take it seriously. It is a masquerade. I am sure that the vast majority of Tunisians will ignore this nonsense, this masquerade, said Ezzedine Hazgoui, spokesperson for the Citizens Against the Coup. Now, we are all here under one title, which is to stand against the coup and for the restoration of our democracy, which was betrayed by Kais Saied. Now, this is the essence of our system, and addition to that, or any addition to that from solutions and deceptions under the title of a referendum or constitutional or election is meaningless, said Ali Larid, former prime minister and leader of the Ennahda party. Well, so what is going to happen? Will the protests to a point where President Saied will decide, let's dog it, or is it still going to be going on? It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now to exactly 18 minutes past the top of the hour. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, I can see in my camera someone. Okay. My able producer is saying to that as well. All right then. So now let's move on to one other story making the rounds. We got about 12 minutes to run up the first part of the program, and this pertains to or involves France. Now, the story is French election. Macron loses majority as French voters vote fragments. Now, less than 2 months after he was re-elected president, Emmanuel Macron has lost control of the French National Assembly following a strong performance by a left alliance and the far right. He had called on voters to deliver a solid majority, but his centrist coalition lost dozens of seats in an election that has left French politics fragmented. The prime minister he had only recently appointed, Elisabeth Borne, said the situation was unprecedented. A storm broke over Paris as she returned to her Matignon residence from long meeting at the presidential Elysee Palace to say that modern France had never seen a national assembly like this one. How is that going to pan out for him in his second term? This situation represents a risk for our country. Given the risks we are facing nationally and internationally, she said, we will work as of tomorrow to build a working majority. Now, that seems a stretch when the other two biggest parties in the assembly are not remotely interested in collaboration. Now, the economy Economy Minister Bruno Le Maire was adamant that France was not ungovernable, but said it was going to require a lot of imagination. So how is it going to be for them? How can their policies be, we get through parliament so that it's all done for them? That'll be quite an interesting one. The far-left leader Jean-Luc Mélenchon was enjoying his success in bringing together mainstream parties from the left with communists and Greens into an alliance called NUPES. Now, he told supporters that the presidential party had suffered a total rot, and every possibility was now in their hands. His alliance now becomes the biggest opposition force in France, although opinion polls had indicated that they could have performed even better. Wow. Call it a spanner being thrown in the web of Macron. Now, how is it going to pan out for him? It is All Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, if you are planning on traveling this weekend via train, well, or the underground, there is news for you. But if you are traveling over the summertime, there is news for you as well. Around 30 flights carrying up to 5,000 passengers have been cancelled at Heathrow Airport due to technical issues affecting baggage. The airport asks airlines to cut 10% of flights from schedules across terminals 2 and 3 on Monday. That is today, of course. Now, it comes after problems at baggage reclaim areas with image of luggage being piled up high emerging last week. Now, tens of thousands of passengers have been hit by airport disruption and flight cancellation in recent weeks. Some stories coming through say that some airlines might be able to combine flights at Heathrow, meaning some passengers will not have their journeys postponed. The airport said cutting the number of flights will minimize the impact of the technical issue affecting baggage system. We apologize unreservedly for the disruption passengers have faced over the course of this weekend, a statement said there. And as I said earlier on, if you're embarking to travel this weekend, this week, if I say this weekend, because it's starting from tomorrow, Thursday, and Saturday, right? Okay, now if you are planning to embark on a journey via the rail, well, millions of people will face travel misery as the biggest rail strike in 30 years causing disruption to services in England, Scotland, Wales, and minister has won. Now, last-minute talks between unions and rail bosses continue, but Simon Clark said industrial action was likely. Now, strikes are planned on most major lines on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. The RMT union said its members were opposing stagnating pay and proposed job losses and wanted justice. Now, disruptions is expected on non-strike days because less staff will be working, and Network Rail has urged passengers to only travel by train if necessary. A strike will also take place across the London Underground on Tuesday, with Transport for London advising passengers to walk or cycle instead. So if I'm working somewhere in London, so I can't cycle. So what do I do? Do I walk from here to? By the time you get there, you'll be naked, isn't it? Well, but they'll tell you that's why you have to get yourself a cycle. Now, are they going to allow people to use their scooters, electric scooters? Okay, we'll see. Maybe there'll be a waiver on that. And will the people be allowed to come and the ULS and the congestion and all the community that comes with it, so people can just drive to the center part of town to go about their duties? Or, well, if we were not taught anything, at least COVID taught us something: working from home. So you can just work from home. What about jobs that cannot be done at home? What about that? Well, it is all Starr Radio UK. 11:25 the time. The morning show. I am Archie. We're running up the first part of the program in GV. Now, while 2 sets of talks are expected on Monday morning, the Rail Maritime and Transport Workers Union has said it will intensify its strike campaign if members don't get an agreeable deal, holding the government by the neck. The union's General Secretary Mick Lynch said they will run this campaign for as long as it takes to get a settlement, potentially for 6 months or more. He called on the government to loosen the shackles of employers to allow a deal to be struck. But the Transport Secretary Grant Sharp said negotiations should be between unions and employers. Now, how would that work for them? The Treasury Minister, Mr. Clark, said there was no point giving false hope. The strikes could be avoided, adding it is important to be realistic about the difficulty of the negotiations. Now, we absolutely don't want them to go ahead. I recognize this is going to cause misery for millions of people, and I'm profoundly sorry about that, he added. Mr. Clark said. Mr. Clark also ruled out that the direct involvement of government ministers in the talks and said the railway will have to financially sustain itself. Now, Labour said the absence of the government from the negotiation table was hobbling talks. Now, if it's their private entities doing their own businesses, making their own profits, declaring their own profits or stuff like that, why don't they get on with it? You know, there's something that actually bothers me as well. Now, we're talking about modernization and all that stuff, so advancement in technology. So I bet you it's going to get to a point where you might be flying on the plane and you have only one pilot or captain flying the whole plane, because everything is so much computerized that you don't need all that community to be on it. And by so doing, the employers are actually cutting costs and trying to make sure that they minimize their profit, they maximize profit there as well. So if they are doing that, if buses said that we don't need conductors, we don't need bus conductors now, I mean, that is jobs going. And so how do we actually balance the whole thing up? But well, you want to know more, then when it comes to our Career 101, which will be coming your way in the next few moments, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. But wherever you are, stay tuned, don't you go away. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Enjoy this tune, and I will bring you Career 101 in the next 3 minutes. Stay tuned, don't you go away. From the one and only Zongo Man. Where is the dollar? The dollar is in my pocket. How did it get there? Maybe a politician gave it to me. But wherever you are, it's now time for Career Career 101, and today we are looking at transferable skills. We're talking about strikes, and we're talking about developments, advancement in technology, where maybe a job that 3 people were doing now gets to a point where only 2 or maybe just 1 person has to do. So what do you do when it comes to that? How are you going to get yourself into a situation or a position where you can now just go on and then have a transferable skills and move your expertise to somewhere else? Now, that is what we're looking at today. So stay tuned. Now I have HRH Linda Pallian. Over to you. You Career 101 with our one and only HRH Linda Pallian all the way in Cyprus. I know this lady, when it comes to the weekend, she likes enjoying it. I don't know whether she did, but from her face, I can tell you that she did enjoy it. So let me say good afternoon to you, Linda.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Yeah, doing very, very well. And you?
Oh, I'm fantastic. I had a great weekend. You didn't even have to ask.
You see, I told you she loves the weekend. And it's good. You work hard, you play hard. I believe in that. Yes. So what are we going to be looking at today?
Today we're looking at transferable skills.
Okay, transferable skills. Now, interestingly, we're talking about where in the on the African continent, some people who have been come out of universities have not got jobs to go to, and maybe they were trained in particular area, particular fields, and they cannot get a job. But maybe if they have some transferable skills, or they can be retrained or something like that, it could help them a great deal. So if you are listening to us this afternoon, we want you to open your ears, or clean your ears and get your notepads or whatever you take your notes on. But don't worry. If it happen that you miss out on anything, there'll be a podcast for you, and you can go to our YouTube or Facebook or all the social media platforms that we are broadcasting on and re-listen to it. It will help you a great deal. Transferable skills. Over to you, Linda.
Fantastic. I'm glad you mentioned about education as well, because normally when we talk about transferable skills, people think it's for others that are changing their jobs, or it's normally spoken about it in the job change sense. But transferable skills applies to you in education, whether you're going for promotion as well, that you can still use your transferable skills there. And of course, if you're changing your jobs. So we'll get straight to it. We'll define what transferable skills are. We'll talk about some of the skills that are considered really noteworthy transferable skills. And then I will share with you a skills checklist as well that you can check to see if you have any of these. And I promise you, at any level, whether you're just starting out, whether you've never had a job before, you have some transferable skills. And the thing about transferable skills, it relies on your ability to communicate this, to recognize that you have it and be able to express to a potential recruiter or a potential boss that you possess them. So we'll go straight to it. Transferable skills, to define it, is an ability or an expertise that can be used in a variety of roles. Any ability or expertise that can be used in a variety of roles. You develop it as you progress through your employment, through your education, or through your training as well. And they can be used, again, as we said, in education. So even if you're moving on from high school to senior school to grad school to PhD, some of these transferable skills, you'll use it in your application to go into these roles. So it's really important. And also in your personal lives, in your vocational training, but in your personal life, you can use transferable skills. For example, if you're a really diplomatic person, you can use that in a fight against your spouse. It's called transferable skills for a reason. It transfers into diverse situations. Ability to calm a situation down, or on the opposite end of the spectrum, to escalate the situation. That's skill. Okay, so now that we're clear on what transferable skills are in the career context, I'm going to share with you when you would need these. We've kind of spoken about this. There's a really good quote from Will Smith about talent and skill, which I will read verbatim from the book, what he says. the separation of talent and skill is one of the greatest misunderstood concepts for people who are trying to excel, for people who have dreams or who want to do things. So talent is an ability you have naturally, and skill is only developed through hours and hours of working on your craft. That's a direct quote from Will Smith. Talent you have naturally, skill is developed through hours and hours of working on your craft. So when we're talking about transferable skills, it also includes your talent. And a lot of people say, well, I'm good at drawing. How does that relate to, for example, a job that I may have? Well, actually, if you're good at drawing, you're good at conceptualizing ideas and recreating them in tangible, visible, physical forms. And you can use that whether you're doing software programming, where again, you're taking someone's idea, I want a beautiful website that does blah, 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 and you conceptualize that wish and desire of the customer into what they perceive as a website. Those are transferable skills directly from your drawing that you can use in, let's say, the software programming field. So it's not just that you have one skill and you're stuck with that. It's being able to explore it and showcase, because you won't necessarily have all of the experience that is sought after in a particular job or in a particular position. But if you can show that you've done this before in a different context and you can apply it into this context, then it works as good evidence of showcasing your skills. You may have heard a lot of people say, well, I grew up with 8 people in the household, I know how to manage people. That is a good example of transferable skills, and it doesn't take away because it was in the household setting. I mean, you at the end of the day, you're still talking to people, and they can relate to managing people, to managing your siblings, to managing your kids, to managing the household, to the household budget, to be able to manage the finances of the company. It does translate, and it's equally valid. So I really want to reassure you, if you're listening to this and thinking, well, I don't have any transferable skills, dig a little deeper. I want to challenge you to dig a little deeper.
Okay. Now, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK Career 101 with HRH Linda Pallian. As we've said this morning, you are supposed to listen to us. Whether you're a student, whether you're a graduate, whether you are work, whatever you are. Okay, it's very important, because we are looking at transferable skills, especially when we are in a time where today you have a job, tomorrow they say that is no more, and you need to find something else. What do you have to say that with this I can also now tend to be this? But Linda, you did talk about I don't know whether from the definition that Will Smith gave, but it looks like someone is asking the question, so until somebody polishes their talent, you cannot call it a skill. Is that it?
Not necessarily. You can have a natural skill, but if you can have a natural talent, but if you don't work on it to polish it, whoever works on it and doesn't even have that natural talent will for sure overtake you.
Okay.
That regards. Okay. So there's, you can sit on gold and do nothing with it. Take it and turn it into a beautiful jewelry and up the value. Think about how you may have a natural talent to sing, but you probably still need singing lessons and practice to be able to use it in the best possible format. And this is with your natural talents.
Thank you very much. I think that's a good one there. So if you are listening to us, you are talented. Yes, you need to work on it, and it can be a very good skill for you. All right then, over to you, Linda.
Fantastic. I'm going to share with you 15 of the top and most sought after transferable skills for employers, and then I'm going to share with you some of the key skills, and we're going to break it down so that into a checklist that you can just tick off. So the first one, in no particular order, is management. We've alluded to that. If you've managed people, you've managed a treasury, you've been in charge of anything, management can really be a really good transferable skill that you can use to demonstrate your leadership qualities. So definitely look for areas in your life where you've managed something, whether it's a church choir, whether you've managed a Sunday school group, whether you've managed a club, or even organized an activity. You can use those activities as evidence of management for your transferable skills. The second one is problem solving, and this is such a key skill for any employer, your ability to solve problems. Nobody wants someone who's going to come to them with every little problem and ask what to do. Every manager is looking for, every employer is looking for someone who can think on their feet, who can be creative, who can come up with solutions, even if they don't act on it, or suggest solutions at least to be considered, rather than being a chicken little, the sky is falling all the time. It's not helpful. And especially if you're in employment right now, if you're looking for ways to boost your profile as an employee and to get a raise or to get a promotion, again, problem solving will be definitely a key skill to have. The third one is analytical reasoning. And this is the ability to be able to look objectively at information and deduce useful data out of it. So being able to analyze a given data is really important to employers. Analytical reasoning. So if you don't know what that is, it's part of problem solving, but it's really identifying a solution and finding logical solutions to a company's problems. That definitely is very sought after. And then following on from that, we have critical thinking. To again using a problem solving and analytical reasoning, but also to be able to decipher what a fact is and what the truth is. There's a difference between fact and truth. And looking at the evidence and evaluating that and deciding which information is more opinion and which one is based on fact, to back up a decision that you'll take. That is critical thinking. And you know, this is a subject that is taught in some secondary schools in England, or you can do a lot of courses. I don't even want to restrict this to England, because you can do a lot of online courses for free on critical thinking to sharpen these skills. And for me, that is a very valuable skill to have in any employee, regardless of whatever position you're doing. Even if you're doing something that doesn't involve maths or what is traditionally white-collar jobs, understanding how to critically think makes you a standout employee and definitely a good candidate. Or even exhibiting these on your CV or in your applications will help you. So it's not just enough to be it, but to be able to communicate it and demonstrate that you have these skills.
Okay.
The next skill is leadership. This is the fifth skill we're on about, leadership. Leadership abilities, being able to take the lead on a project, get a team to get behind your ideas and follow you and accomplish a shared goal. Again, leadership skills. You can't go wrong with having leadership skills, regardless of where you're starting from. Leadership skills, to be able to supervise and manage a team, again, priceless. Number 6, adaptability. Can you adapt to a given scenario? Because life isn't a constant, you know, things change all the time. Like something might happen at work, you might not be, your boss might not always be present to tell you what to do. Can you adapt and make the most out of a situation? I always use this example because I think it's my favorite. The late Kofi Annan, how he became UN Secretary General when there was a him to have, and his boss was flying in the air, and he had to step in and make a decision, which then demonstrated that he was good enough to become UN Secretary General. So again, if you're able to be adaptable and pivot and adapt to change as it's happening, and maintain a positive attitude whilst you're doing it, and get your work done. Wow, who doesn't want that person to work for them? Who doesn't want that person to be in their corner working on? Our seventh skill is teamwork. Teamwork. No man is an island. Whether you're doing a project, let's use this example of drawing. You may think, oh well, in my profession I work alone. We gave me the brief. But again, you're working for someone, with someone. You need that teamwork skill, that you don't rub people up the wrong way. You're able to listen to others and be able to build a relationship with people to achieve a common goal. Right? And again, that would really help. And even if it's, as we said in your drawing, if you're working within National Association of Artists, for example, there you go, that's a team. There's people that work individually but part of a consortium. So definitely you need teamwork skills to accomplish any goal. And then communication. Communication is our eighth skill. Communication, again, another priceless skill. To be able to interpret a piece of information in a way that, or relate a piece of information in a way that people understand it, they don't take offense. It's clear, everyone knows what they're doing. It's clear and concise and unambiguous. It's a very useful skill, whether it's in writing, emails, text messages, writing press releases, whatever it is, written communication you're doing, whether it's oral communication, whether you're giving a speech, or maybe doing a briefing, taking notes or minutes at meetings. To be able to communicate effectively will really help you. Last week we did those skills that will stand you in good stead, and again, communication was one of them, right, that you need. So definitely communication. Number 9 is writing skills. This seems a bit repetitive, but again, written communication that conveys a message clearly will really help you. And in the absence of visual cues, to be able to write in a way that people can see what is being communicated to them is a skill, but again, a very transferable skill that you can use in one job to another. So you might not be a copywriter anymore, but you might be able to use the fact that you're able to write to be able to do radio or present it. It's a different form of communication, but still communication. And then number 10, active listening skills. Active listening skills. The opposite end of the spectrum of communicating is listening. Human beings love to feel heard, and that someone is listening to them. That's the only way you can communicate effectively, if you actually understand what someone's trying to relate to you, whether it's your client, whether it's your supplier, whether it's your team, whether it's your kids. Active listening skills, to be able to demonstrate that in a job interview and say, and actually in job interviews we test for this. We test for active listening. And we've done this in this forum before, where, for example, in an interview question, I would say, tell me a time of when you've used good communication to be able to convince an angry customer, and what the feedback was. So this question, if you're listening to it, has 2 parts. The first part is when you've used good communication skills. The second part is the reaction and the feedback from the customer. a lot of people in the interview stage, because you're nervous and you're trying to give a good impression, as soon as the questions asked, you are thinking about a time when I've used good communication skills. You're formulating your star or your answer in your head, that you didn't listen
to the customer. I didn't listen to the end of the question itself as well.
To the second, and it's a trick that interviewers use to see if you possess active listening skills. So I always say in interview prep, if we've done interview prep together, let them finish, listen to the whole question first, and then take a moment to frame your answer before you start talking. There's no crime against pausing for a few seconds before you answer the question. You don't have to answer the question right away. You can few seconds, gather your thoughts before you answer the question. But the important and the key skill is answering the question properly, because you've been actively listening.
Yeah. But on the active listening, now, and you saying that you can pause before you answer the question. Some people are of the view that by so doing, it shows that you were not prepared for that particular question that is being posed. Either you've not experienced anything, now you are just trying now to think about something. So at times when I sit in a panel like that, then I think he's not going to just cook something for us. So it's not actually experienced that. So if somebody finds themselves in such a situation, what should they do there? I know we are digressing a bit though.
No, that's a great point. I've never come across that point of view at all. But I think it's also fine to explain or to elaborate. Give me a second to put my answer at once. And I think, depending on the quality of your answer, you can dispel that prejudice that you're not.
Okay.
I think if you pause, also depend on the length of the pause. There's a comfortable pause, and there's a
long pause.
Hopefully you would have prepared some of these competency questions already. You don't need to pause that long. But definitely, I think, depending on the quality of the answers, most people see it as you gathering your thoughts. And you, again, if you have the inkling that they're thinking that, clarify. When people communicate, there's nothing like communicating super clearly. I just need a minute to gather my answer so I can give you a better answer. It explains to them what you're doing. It fills the gap. It gives you more time to think. And it doesn't go against you. If you rush the question and you don't answer it fully,
that goes against you. Yeah.
So in doubt, pause and think about it, and then come up with a really good answer that hopefully puts them away.
Okay.
That's a great input, Archie. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Okay. So where are we? The 11th skill. We talked about active listening. Creativity. Again, one of my favorite skills, creativity. And as I said, one thing I've learned recently, which I'm applying in my own life, is the importance of creativity and dedicating time to creativity. You know, there's a saying that says there's no lack of money, just a lack of creativity.
Yeah.
And creativity is not just an ability to sing, draw, what we traditionally refer to as a creative art. More than that, it's creatively financing your business, creatively selling to someone without seeming salesy or pushy, creatively conveying your idea across without conveying a perhaps sensitive idea across without offending. You know, creativity is in so many ways, and every single person on earth who is a creation in themselves possesses creative skill. And we just need time to hone those skills. I was listening to, I can't remember what this motivational speaker name was, but he was saying we don't dedicate enough time to hone in our creativity. Creativity takes time. I've been watching a lot of bridal things because it's been wedding season, and just looking at the time it takes to create one wedding dress, or to create one stunning jewelry piece, or to create an artwork. And if we look at people in the traditional creative arts, they don't just get up and they're able to play a role in a movie. They practice for months, sometimes they diet for it, and we need to leaf out of their booklets. They allow themselves to be vulnerable, work on their craft, to hone it, to be able to do that. And in the business world, we don't do that, or in non-traditional creative roles, we forget that you don't just learn and train to be an accountant and then you're suddenly an accountant. You start with your craft. You be able to work on how to communicate or talk on your broadcast to keep people engaged. You still need to work as a public speaker on maybe how you carry yourself, or your stage presence, or how people perceive your message. And we need to dedicate the time to being creative about how we do what it is we do. Are you an out-of-the-box thinker? Do you employ novel techniques to help clients understand how to use your product, to find novel solutions to problems that they face? This is where the money is, in the creativity of being creative about how to do non-banal things, usual things, but a creative way of it. Today I was looking at an interview from Shudu, the digital model creator, and he was saying he's a young person in his 30s, and he says, I've been a fashion photographer for ages, and I play video games in my spare time, and I thought, I'm burnt out in this industry, I want to do something different, I'm questioning what I'm doing with my life. And it's like, well, in 3 months he was able to learn how to program and to code, and to be able to draw on the skills that he's gained in the fashion sense, and from gaming, and put it together with the tangible skill he's just learned in how to program, to be able to new thing and revolutionize the industry. That one would say it's saturated, or there's too much in it, and nobody anymore. There's nothing new invented. If you give enough time to be creative, you can invent this. And this guy's story is particularly touching because, look at the time. I'll just finish this thought. His story is particularly touching because he stopped working in London, moved in with his parents again for a year to reset. Basically, and from his parents' shed, he created this. Us feel like this at different times, and we feel like it's just us and all hope is lost. It's the most creativity and most genius comes from this particular scenario. You're feeling that, and you're looking at what transferable skills you can use. Creativity is definitely one that you can use. I'll just mention the rest of them. So attention to detail is one of them. Project management is another transferable skill that you can use. Relationship building, being able to understand people, priceless. Computer skills is also one of that you can always use any particular job or in any transferable skills that you may need to.
Wow, listeners, this has been a load full of skills that you need to you might have them all there. Everything that she's talked about, you might have them there, but because you've not taken the time to check it out, or use it. So you think, whoa, it's not there. What is she talking about? She is living on another planet. No. These are transferable skills that we are talking about. You have them in it, but you have to take time to actually even discover that you still have them. But if you want to know more about what we've talked about and how, I mean, when it comes to your career, your hands can be held, taken through the various places by Linda, then please, you can go back to our broadcast. You go to Star Radio UK every Monday edition of the morning show. You will have the latter part, Linda there bringing you Career 101. We've touched on various topics, and it's very, very important to each and every one of us if you really want to go on in life. Okay, so Linda has written a few books that every time we come on I do talk about them. Now they are also there to help you out when it comes to your career as well. So I'm going to go back to her. She's going to talk about those books, and then she can put her contact details across to you. If you are interested, get in touch with her. She runs some programs that you could just register. At times you call it, it's expensive, but it's something that you are using to better yourself up. So it's very, very important. I want you to listen to her and then get in touch with her. Over to you, Linda.
Thank you. So as you said, sometimes we tend to think, getting help is expensive, but the real question is, can you afford not to? To be in the same position that you've been in for the last few years, for the next few years, when you can invest a little and move yourself into a much better place and tenfold your income sometimes. So definitely that's something to think about. If you're interested in the books, they're called the career books. Funny that this is Career 101, they're the career books by Linda Pallion, and they're available on Amazon and also via my website if you're based in Cyprus. But Amazon across the world, you can find them. They've been priceless resources for a lot of people around the world. There's loads of testimonials that you'll see, and definitely get your hands on them. We spoke about transferable skills in the career workbook, which is the book 3. There's a part to bring out these transferable skills in you and to be able to explore that. In the career success book, we talk about, this is book 2, we talk about what transferable skills you might need for what employment, and how you can use other experiences, unconventional experiences, to be able to get the job of your dreams without necessarily having the experience for it. So it's all there. And then of course the how to career, if you're thinking of resetting or doing a second business, definitely these 6 steps are there to guide you. You can find them all on lindapallion.com. You can find out about the books, how to work with me one-to-one. You can look at what training programs we have. They start from £20. They are super affordable, and they're online, and you can do them from the comfort of your own home, and you can implement it today to start earning the money you deserve, the career you deserve, the life you deserve, because you owe it to yourself. So definitely, or contact me on social media, on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, at Linda Pallion or at my cheerleader. She say, I'm a cheerleader of people's successes and dreams, and I can be your cheerleader too.
Yes, and that's it. She said it. She is my cheerleader. She can be your cheerleader. So why not make sure you get in touch with her. Linda, let me say thank you very much for this wonderful time once again.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, so this is where we bring the program to a close for today. Tomorrow we're going to be coming your way with another edition of the morning show. It's going to be the Tuesday edition, but we're going to be having lots and lots of activities for tomorrow because BB Clement has got a special guests who are appearing on a program, and I'll be telling you more tomorrow morning once we come on. So be in expectation and see you all tomorrow. On that note, enjoy the song from the Zungo Man. The dollar is in my pocket though, but he's asking it. Bye bye for now. It's been me, Archie. Stay blessed.
$10 and one man
love.